In Amei's pure, loving eyes, Jian rediscovered his own worth. The younger sister is unwilling to accept this. She would never see Jian again in this lifetime. She begged Iva to make an exception, and so they met again. This time, Amei was no longer reserved. She asked to see the man's physique. When Jian took off his shirt and took Amei's stiff left hand to take her to feel it, Amei shed tears, not sadness. But at 16, the inferiority complex after the boy she secretly dislikes her hands as hard as stone. Jian gently smoothed it down. Amei admitted it. He hopelessly fell in love with this man covered in wounds. This part of the plot is very tense. One was physically disabled, but the soul burns hot. One is physically healthy, but his soul had long since shattered. In that cramped room, they reached a kind of spiritual agreement. People with disabilities are often labeled as needing assistance, but the film tells us that while they are giving, it also provides psychological comfort to able-bodied people. The date for hysterectomy is getting closer. In order to resist, Amei made an extremely decisive move. She secretly stopped her anti-epileptic medication several times before inspection. Amei suddenly had a violent seizure, foaming at the mouth. Hormone levels in the body became uncontrollable, and the surgery was forced to be cancelled. The mother saw through her daughter's lie and trembled with anger, demanding a fierce question. At that moment, the air froze. The mother finally realized that the child in the wheelchair was not just a burden to her, and moreover she is a woman with a sense of sovereignty. Amei thought she had bought some time. He went to see Joachim for a third service, but Eva firmly refused. Iva realized that Amei had developed a dangerous emotional dependence, ruining her future life. The desperate Amei went mad, searching for Jian on the street. Eventually he found her, drunk by the stinky ditch. Amei unfastened her wheelchair seat belt. He struggled to crawl to Jian's side. He locked his fingers tightly with Jian. That night he was on the cold streets of Hong Kong. She leaned on Jian and kept watch all night. Early the next morning, Jian's first reaction upon waking, not moving but embarrassment and shame. He was eager to escape, but seeing Amei struggling and moving on the ground, but when he couldn't climb onto the wheelchair, the last bit of his conscience made him turn back. Send him home. This clip is so realistic. Although Jian is gentle, but in the end, he is just an ordinary person with various vices crushed by life. He couldn't bear the heavy love of Amei. Love is often not a lifeline in the face of reality. It was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Many people think Jian is ruthless in this scene, but from his perspective, not making a promise that a disabled person cannot keep. Instead, it was another kind of kindness. To get Jian's attention, Amei even deliberately brought a big first to get dirty and attentive. The man with the queue shows up at the restaurant where Jian works. Jian was jealous, but then he said the harshest words.
Attack Amei until Amei's birthday.
The loan shark pinned Jian into an alley and beat him up. Amei rushed to the hospital and brought her different fruits every day, telling jokes to coax her. Jian's heart completely collapsed. She told Amei her sister's story. That night on the white sheets of a cheap hotel, two broken souls finally met. For the first time, Amei fulfilled her tribute as a woman in the name of love. But before the beautiful moment faded, the door was violently smashed open. The mother barged in with the police and social workers. The younger sister was startled. This leads to bodily eruptions and severe spasms. He was forcibly taken away by an ambulance. Meanwhile, Jian was handcuffed and charged with inability to care for himself. Female in the interrogation room, facing outside doubts, usually speaking slowly. Amei was unusually clear-headed and angry. She shouted at the social worker with the most resolute voice.
I am a person of the universe. I am from the secret land. You are the man within me. I am a man.
Reality dealt him the most fatal blow to the social worker, who took out his statement. Calmly tell him that Jian denied love in his confession. He said this was only the last service. They were just ordinary friends, and the light in Amei's eyes instantly went out. The end of the story, Jian was released on bail. Because Amei insisted so desperately she felt guilty, he was acquitted. The two never crossed paths again. Amei sat alone in her wheelchair, her eyes no longer holding the innocent longing, but rather a coldness that deeply regains the heart. Many people struggle with Jian. Why deny it? I think the director's brilliance lies in this uncertainty. Perhaps he was doing it to protect himself. After all, having a relationship with a person with a disability is easily considered violating the law. He had no money and nothing to do, couldn't afford to gamble. Or perhaps he wanted to completely cut off Amei's illusions so that he can survive in the mundane world, no matter which one it is. Amei had already completed her spiritual cleansing in this devastating romance. This movie is extremely popular on short video platforms, not just because of its sharp plot. It is even more because he laid the love of disabled people bare in the sunlight. Within mainstream values, people with disabilities are often assumed to have no right to romance. We habitually use the name of care to strip them of their dignity and right to love. Amei's mother may be a responsible mother, but with his all-encompassing protection, Amei's soul is shrinking. What Amei really needs isn't physical touch. It is the freedom to decide what you want, even if it means experiencing heartbreak and betrayal. This heart-wrenching breakup is actually a human truth in Amei's life. He proved to the world that even if his body was paralyzed, he also has the right to try, to make mistakes, to bear the consequences. The uterus is no longer just an organ. It has become a symbol of dignity. After watching this film, the last thing we should have is pity, because true respect is treating them as loves and hurts, just like us. Ordinary people who can make foolish mistakes. At the end of the film, Amei's determined gaze tells us, even if you are deeply mired in the mire, only inner awakening brings true freedom.